Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 3 at Saratoga on Friday. Fillies and Mares going 5.5 on the Mellon turf. It's the Smart and Fancy Stakes. Let's take a peek at this field. Big favorite on the morning line. The 7 and 8 are entered main track only. The 5 Roses for Deborah. She has just been a revelation for Christophe Clement. Clement took over her training. She's 3 for 3 this year, all since moving to the turf.
Yeah, just been really, really good in all 3 of those races as well, Dan. She has really, really handy speed in her races, but they never go to the front with her. And then once they get into the stretch of her races, she just kicks really, really hard. Super impressive taking that grade 3 over a couple of these last time.
Very versatile running style. You can keep her off the pace, but if the pace is slow as it was last time out, she can sit just off. And as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, Bubble Rock, who made the lead last time out in the Caress against Roses for Deborah, expected to make the lead again. Roses for Deborah could be sitting a fine spot in second or third.
Yeah, because should be sitting right up close here, especially if they're not going fast. It'll be interesting to see if Bubble Rock winds up on the lead again, Dan. It kind of feels like in her last 2 races, they didn't want her there, but she wound up there because the paces weren't that fast. I feel like if Rosario and Brad Cox had their wish that she wouldn't be cutting the pace this time, maybe that will fall to the 3 Trained Artemis.
Trained Artemis did chase some fast fractions last time out at Monmouth. She's also shown the willingness to sit. It'll be very interesting to see how hard these jockeys press in the early stages of the race. Can't Buy Love is coming out of a 3rd place finish in the Incredible Revenge finish behind Trained to Artemis in that race. She is more of a one-run closing type for Michael Trombetta, who sent out an upset winner at Saratoga on Wednesday. Can't Buy Love, though, is going to need a little bit of pace help. We know what she is. She's a pretty strong rallier. I'm not sure about this level of competition. I'm not sure about the pace setup.
I'm worried about the level of competition for her, too. I thought she ran fine last time. Those 1-2 finishers, Trained Artemis among them, they just sort of went to the front together and sort of dueled through the stretch. Can't Buy Love had a lot of ground to make up. She almost erased all of it at the end. It was a really good finish for her, but she was left with too much to do. This race is just tougher, Dan, and it doesn't feel like it's really going to go in front of her this time either. And I think she's going to need a little help if she's going to pull off an upset here.
Bubble Rock's been on the pace, as Mike mentioned, in her last couple of races. She ran just fine, going 3/4 in the Intercontinental 2 starts back. Last time out in the Caress, though, she was able to make the lead, and she made a very easy lead. The pace was not fast at all. It looked for a brief instant at the 3/16 that she was going to spurt away, but then Roses for Deborah took care of her, and I was a little bit disappointed that she blew the place to a true closer, Wakanaka.
Didn't like her performance in the Caress last time. It was less than firm turf, so maybe that had something to do with it, Dan. I don't know. I thought her Intercontinental was a little bit better. That was a race going 6 where they wanted no part of the lead with her. She wound up there because nobody else went, but even on the lead, Rosario had her under a hammerlock around the track and there and didn't let her open up, any kind of significant advantage. I kind of felt like it cost her at the end. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do with her here. They probably don't want her on the lead, but the pace is going to be slow again. I found it hard to take her off of her last start, but I do think she's a pretty good horse.
Trained to Artemis, I think, is going to come into this race a little bit under the radar. Heck, she's a mare that's won 9 of 18 lifetime starts and is coming off a good effort where she got wired by an odds-on favorite. This is the Incredible Revenge. You're going to end up seeing Can't Buy Love get up for 3rd. True, they ran 1-2 all the way around the track. This winner is okay. It looks for a second like Trained to Artemis can get by, and then the winner found another gear.
And she's really game here. She tries a couple of different runs at this horse and just can't get by. She's even surging here at the end again, and she's just going to get denied. I guess it's at least worth pointing out then that horse that won that race, who was odds on in that start, she's 4 for 4 sprinting on the grass. We'll see how good she ultimately turns out to be. I thought Trained Artemis ran fine in there. She can get the right trip in this race. She won twice over this course and distance last summer, albeit against much weaker horses. She's in really good form right now, and I'm not going to knock her.
Poppy Flower is a horse that would benefit from a fast pace up front, but on her best day, I think she can overcome even a moderate pace. She fits very well with this caliber of competition. She won the Intercontinental and she ran down Bubble Rock, a race where she broke pretty sharp, was taken in hand to mid-pack, got bumped in the upper stretch and still got it done. Maybe pace compromised last time out in the Roses for Deborah race.
I thought she was pace compromised in that race. I thought she actually ran pretty well in that Caress with really no significant chance to win that race. I thought it was a good performance. I thought she ran well in the Intercontinental 2 starts back because that pace wasn't fast either. She shows up every single time. It seems like they're not going to go fast in here either, Dan, but they're not going to go as slow as they went last time, I don't think. And I think that really enhances her chances.
Roses for Deborah has finished first in 7 of 8 lifetime starts, 3 of 3 on turf, 3 for 3 for Clement. Here's her win in the Caress. And again, her tactical ability allowed her to get right up close to the pace, where she made a move from second position to go after Bubble Rock. And here's Bubble Rock controlling an easy pace. But once Roses for Deborah kicks into gear at the 3/16 pole, she makes short work of the pace setter.
Yeah, just powers home here in the last furlong or so of this race, because it did kind of feel like it was up for grabs as that field got past the 3/16, and then it really was no contest at the end. Just another really strong performance. Her prior 2 turf starts against Allowance Company were equally impressive, I thought, from just off the pace, big finishes in both of those races as well. She's just really, really good, Dan. She's made no mistakes so far. She's way the horse to beat.
Up in class is the 6, Talkin' Tipsy. Last win came on synthetic. She seems equally as good on synthetic and turf. Her last race at Colonial Downs, she finished 4th. She didn't have the cleanest trip in that race when finishing behind a couple of these, but she just has to step forward from a speed figure standpoint. On paper, she's a little too slow.
Yeah, based on what she's done so far, she has won a couple of times sprinting on the grass, but not against horses like this. The figures say that she's not close to fast enough to go with these horses, so she's got plenty to find here.
The 7 and the 8 are entered main track only, and these are horses that would really be strong contenders if this race is washed off the turf. Obviously, we'll take a look at our top selections for the Smart and Fancy. Like you, Mike, I've just been very, very impressed with the favorite in here, Roses for Deborah. I like her tactical speed. I like the way she finishes off her races, and I wonder if we've even seen her best yet. She's so lightly raced.
Yeah, me too. I found nothing to knock about her, Dan, and I just didn't really feel like taking shots against her here, just because. And I think she's way the horse to beat. I don't think she'll be compromised by pace. I'm going to take her on top, and Poppy Flower is the other horse for me. I'll be interested to see how much money she takes.
I like Bubble Rock underneath. I think she's just that consistent sort that can be close to a moderate pace. Like you, I'd like to see her perhaps get a target. I'm just not sure that's going to happen once again in this spot. 5-4-3-1 for Mike, 5-2-4-3 for me in the Smart and Fancy on Friday at Saratoga. Good luck.